Hello, everyone. This is Nicholas Blake with World News Wednesday. We are coming at you live from Florida. When you hop on in, say hello. How you doing? Where you're from? How's the weather? Here in Inglis, Florida, where we are coming at you live from, it is currently 92 degrees. Feels like 106, and we are under an excessive heat advisory. So it's hot. I've already been out. I brought our roommate to excuse me, an appointment, and let me tell you, we had to run the AC. And normally I don't run the AC. Why? Because it eats up the gas. That's why I normally don't run the AC. Hold on one second. The camera seems a little. All right. I hope that's a little better. The AC seems to eat up the gas. You know what I mean? So I try not to run it, but lately I've been having to use it because it's just been unbearable. So we're going to start off with a prayer, and then we will begin. Dear Lord God, I thank you for this day. I thank you for this time. I thank you for everybody on Facebook Live and everybody on YouTube Live, Lord. Just be with everybody, I pray. Anybody that's not feeling good, that's sick, or has an illness, a disease, or whatever the case is, by your stripes we are healed. A lot of us now, especially in today's economy and world and everything, a lot of people are going through stress, anxiety, depression, and give us peace, Lord, that just surpasses all understanding. Be with the homeless, people that are starving, people that need medicine that can't get it. Lord, just provide, Lord. We love you, we praise you, we thank you, we give you all the glory. In your name, amen. Alrighty, so my wife, Tanya Blake, who is also my admin/moderator. She is on Facebook. She's only been on YouTube once, and the only reason why is because at the time she had an extra device. Well, the extra device that I had broke, so now she's letting me use her backups. So she's not able to admin and moderate on both ends at the same time. She's able to watch because she admin and watches from her cell phone, but YouTube is just on the screen, the TV. So, but anyways, like, tag, and share Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Subscribe. It is free. The way I look at it is this: subscribe. You don't like the content, unsubscribe. It's that simple. It doesn't cost you a cent. But I hope you do subscribe. We are currently at 77 subscribers. We're on our way to 80, and then 90, then 100, and who knows? The more, the merrier, like they say. So we are going to start here in a second. Like I said, it's 92 degrees here in Inglis, Florida, but it feels like 106. Let me know what the weather is wherever you're coming in from. And where are you coming in from? Like I said, we're coming at you live from Florida. My wife and I, just a little backstory, we're originally from Connecticut. We moved up here October of 2021. The reason being is because of our animal that we had at the time, our dog, emotional support dog, Gabe. He's half pit and half terrier. And we were looking for a new place to live because where we were living it was Hartford, Connecticut. And if I'm correct, Hartford, Connecticut, at least at one time, was listed in the top 10 worst, most dangerous and most crime cities in the entire United States. So we were trying to get out of that area. Let's just put it this way. I got my windshield smashed with a baseball bat because I want to give somebody a ride. Okay? He was a local drug dealer. I knew what he was up to. I don't deal with that. I'm not, no. So anyways, I felt unsafe for me, my wife, and our animals and everything. So we were trying to find a new place. But the minute I said we had a pit, I couldn't even get terrier out. As soon as I said that, they're like, nope, 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 nope. So we called somebody. I was talking to somebody I knew here in Florida, and they said where they were living, there was an extra room for rent, and bring your animals. And a lot of people were telling me, just get rid of your animal, whatever. Sorry. That's our fur baby, and also my emotional support animal. And I wasn't about to get rid of him. Unfortunately, he has passed on, and we got a new dog now named Bullet. He's like a Chihuahua wiener dog, Jack Russell type mix. I think he maybe weighs 20 pounds, 25 possibly. So, yeah, that's a little backstory on that. So, all right, let's get to some world news here. And like I said, feel free to comment, chat. Only thing I ask is just be respectful. Don't say anything derogatory or bullying anybody, whether it's myself or anybody that's on the chat or whatever, because it has happened before, and it's terrible that I have to even say it. You know what I mean? But common sense, you don't do that in somebody else's live. If you don't like somebody's live, just change the channel, go watch somebody else. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all, like they say. Just be nice and stuff, because I wouldn't want to have to send anybody to Block City, because I would do that if I needed to, but I really don't want to. I want everybody to come here, have a good time, learn about the Lord, learn about the world. And like I said, I always incorporate Jesus into World News Wednesday. Why? Because if it wasn't for Jesus, if it wasn't for God, in the Bible, Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, God created the heavens and the earth. So if it wasn't for God, there would be no earth and there would be no world, which means there would be no world news. So, and if you ask me, we need Jesus more now in our lives. They had gotten rid of prayer in schools and the Pledge of Allegiance. They were taking out one nation under God and all this stuff. But yet, hey, we like the money still, huh? It says in God we trust in our money. I don't know. Let me think about that for a second. And like I've said before, if you're new here, welcome. I'm always live. If you're watching the replay, please put hashtag replay. Let me know you're watching the replay. And you have to forgive me. Sometimes I draw blanks. Back in 2010, I suffered a concussion. And ever since then, for some reason, I just draw blanks. Every now and then. Plus, I'm diabetic. I'm on gabapentin, and I've been hearing a lot of stuff about gabapentin lately. Something about it can cause brain fog. Basically, you could be talking about something, and then all of a sudden, what was I talking about? And it seems like it's happening to me more and more lately. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to check more into that medication. Maybe I can get on something else. I need it for my neuropathy, but there is other stuff out there. I heard there's a thing called Lyrica, but I don't know. I heard this is bad, so I don't know. So anyways, like I said, please subscribe. It is free. And please like, tag, and share on Facebook. October the 1st, 2026, 43 days from now, we are also going to be going live on TikTok. So we will have Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. And I will be live on all 3 platforms at the same time, just like I'm live now on 2 platforms at the same time. So I'm going to have to get an extra device for that. And I apologize if the sound isn't the greatest or the picture isn't the greatest or if the words aren't lining up with my lips. It's because of the equipment. I'm using Android phones. I don't have the extra funds to be able to get anything better right now. So please keep in prayer that one day we're able to do that. So, yeah, let's get into some world news. And if you have anything to share for any world news that I might not be talking about, let me know in the comment section, the chat section, and I would be more than happy to talk about it. So I'm going to do what we normally do, which is I usually look up the gas prices. So I'm going to do that first. How much is the average gallon of gas in the United States? And let me know wherever you're from what gas is, because it's different all over. I'm just looking for the national average. And right now, the national average is $4.09 for a gallon of gas. What is the national average for a gallon of diesel in the United States? Oh, and by the way, Tanya, I want to see if hold on, I'm just looking at the comments on Facebook Live, everyone. Hold on. Share. Subscribe to the channel. I don't know why. Sometimes I have gives me an issue trying to scroll up, looking at the comments. Come on. Hey, Tanya, how's the picture? And how's the volume on your end? And I don't know if any of, before I get into the diesel prices, I don't know if any of you have experienced this, but I've noticed this on Facebook. I'll be on somebody's live or somebody's on my live. And like right now I'm on Facebook Live. And a friend of ours, Deborah, she had wrote a comment. And then my wife, Tanya, the admin, wrote a comment. And now it says Deborah, and under it, it's the comment that my wife, Tanya, wrote. So, I've been seeing that for a couple of months now. So I don't know if any of you have experienced that. Picture and sound is good on both Facebook and YouTube. Okay, thank you, Tanya. All right, hold on one second here. Like I said, I'm dealing with crappy devices here. But you got to work with what you got, right? All right. Right now, the national average for a gallon of diesel in the United States is $5.50. And, you know, that differs, you know, depending on where you live. Some places a little cheaper, some places a little more. What is the national average for a gallon of home heating oil in the United States? $4.80. How much is a barrel of crude oil in the United States going for? Last time I knew it was around $80. Oh, it went up a little. $85.69 per barrel on average. All right, so we went over the weather. And in case you missed that, 92 feels like 106 in Ingles, Florida. And went through all that. So let's check on this. What is the current status of the Iran-United States conflict and war? The United States and Iran are in a state of stalled conflict following the expiration of a 60-day temporary peace window. President Donald Trump halted active diplomatic talks and stated that no conversations are scheduled, while maintaining a heavy U.S. naval blockade in the Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, regional tensions have escalated sharply after the UAE suspended trade with Iran over alleged missile attacks, and Iran signaled a shift toward a more aggressive posture. Current diplomatic and military status. No active talks. President Trump announced that negotiations are currently off in order to ongoing communication channels. U.S. naval blockade. The U.S. military enforces a firm blockade on Iranian ports, claiming control over maritime traffic, while periodic skirmishes and vessel seizures continue. Strait of Hormuz. The vital shipping lane remains heavily disrupted, with separate secondary negotiations involving Oman attempting to work out safe commercial passages. And if I'm pronouncing anything wrong, please, I do apologize. Regional fallout. UAE suspends trade. The United Arab Emirates cut all trade and financial ties with Iran after accusing Tehran of launching ballistic missiles toward its waters. Iran has denied responsibility for the missile strikes. Iranian posture. Iranian officials have warned neighboring Gulf states against assisting the U.S. military and indicated a shift toward a fully offensive military readiness as broader peace frameworks collapse. Global economic impact. Global energy and oil markets remain pressured due to ongoing security risks and supply disruptions tied to the blocked waterway. Okay. His YT Son 2. Hello, how you doing today? Nice to see you. Welcome in. We're just talking about gas prices and the war and everything and the weather. That's pretty much all we've gone through so far. And please subscribe. It is free. And on Facebook, please like, tag, and share. I would appreciate that. And all right, let's see what else we got for news. I know there's been some bad weather. I heard something about Hawaii, I guess, had a really bad tropical storm or hurricane or something. And I think it was called Hurricane Lala, if I'm correct. And then in the Midwest, I heard there's lots of floods. And you know what, though? It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me one bit, because in the Bible, it does say that in the end times, the weather is going to be all crazy like this. We're living it. If you don't believe me, open the Bible, read the book of Revelations, read Genesis, the beginning too. In my opinion, if you're only going to read 2 books of the Bible, Genesis and Revelation, those would be the 2 I would read out of all of them, personally. I mean, yes, there's other good books too, like the Psalms and the book of Matthew and all of them. They're all good books. But if you're just going to sit down and you want to know about like the end, I would definitely recommend Revelations and then Genesis, the beginning. You know what I mean? So the only thing that doesn't have an end is heaven and hell. That's eternity, people. That is eternity. You're going to go to one or the other. And it's your choice. God gives you free will. What do you decide? You want to believe in God and do good and live a Christian life and everything. And when you sin, because it's not if, everybody sins, but when you sin and everything, ask for forgiveness and mean it and everything, you're going to go to heaven, and have a relationship with him and everything. But if you do the opposite, and you don't believe in God, you don't pray, you don't read the Bible, you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't care if you sin, you don't care who you hurt or whatever, you're going to go to hell. You reap what you sow. You know what I mean? You can really lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You know what I mean? I'm doing my job of telling the world about Jesus and spreading the gospel. It says in the Bible to do so, and I'm doing it. I'm spreading that word. And but whether or not you decide to accept it or whatever, that's up to you. That's all you. That's all you. But yeah, and then I've been hearing about a lot of shootings. I mean, come on, people. What the heck is going on in this world? I mean, look at Charlie Kirk and everything. Basically, he got shot because of his beliefs. Basically, in a nutshell. Hey, if you don't like what somebody's beliefs are, then don't listen to it. You know what I mean? Obviously, if you were there listening to it, you had a choice. You could have stayed and listened, or you could have got up and walked away. Plain and simple. Nobody should be killed for their beliefs. Just because you disagree with a friend or a family member, does that mean you're no longer friends? Does that mean you disown your family member? No, absolutely not. If you don't like what you're watching on the television, that's what a remote control is for. You change it. You know what I mean? Nobody should be hurt or killed for their beliefs. There's nothing wrong with debating, having arguments over it and whatever, and talking and stuff like that peacefully. But killing somebody, I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't know. Maybe somebody could explain it to me, but I just don't get why somebody would think, because now the person that shot him and everything, he's going to end up with life in jail or death penalty. Wow, you really made an accomplishment now, did you? You know what I mean? You ruined your life. I mean, I don't know. To me, you have to be on some serious drugs or something, because a normal person, in my eyes anyways, would not do that. That's just my opinion. We all have a right to our opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. If you like Trump, you like Trump. If you don't, you don't. If you wanted Kamala in, you wanted her in. If you didn't, you didn't. You know what I mean? I know people that like Biden and liked Kamala. Okay. I don't personally. Personally, I like Trump. Now, one thing though, real quick. The first term Trump was in, A+, phenomenal job in my opinion. Okay. This term, his second time around, he's been doing a couple of things I don't agree with. So I would no longer give an A+ to Trump. I'd probably give him a B, honestly. But I'll tell you what, I'd rather have him in any day than Kamala, to be honest. Now, there's a lot of people out there that might disagree with that, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, I had a friend on Facebook, okay, when Biden and Trump were running. And they told me they liked Biden. I says, "Oh, okay, nice. I don't, but hey, that's what you want. That's what you want." I says, "I voted for Trump." Now, mind you, I was friends with this person for 20 years. I met this person in life. We were friends in life, not just over the internet or anything. They stopped talking to me. They blocked me because I didn't vote for who they wanted. Now, I'm sorry, somebody like that, 20 years or not, apparently he wasn't a true friend, because a true friend, a true family member will stick with you no matter what. No matter what you disagree about, no matter, you know, that's what a true friend does. They stick together. When you separate over things like that, they were really never a friend to begin with, in my eyes, which is sad. You know, knew the guy for 20 years. I knew we disagreed politically, but I'm like, hey, okay, whatever, you know, but sad. It was sad to no, because, you know, it was sad to see the friendship end over something so stupid, you know. Let's see what else we got for news here. And usually if I don't find anything when I look through the news, by the way, I'm on Google. Then I'll usually just type in some things that I know about that I want to talk about. You know what I've also been seeing a lot of lately is a lot of animal neglect cases. You know, people hurting animals and stuff like that. That don't fly with me at all. At all. You should never neglect or hurt an animal. Never. And if you can't take care of the animal, if you don't have enough food to feed the animal or whatever, find a good home for the animal. You know, find a good home. But don't let your animal wither down to nothing, or don't like hit your animal, you know, if they're barking too loud, or, you know what I mean? To me, again, common sense. But then again, what's common sense nowadays? You know what I mean? So a lot of people say I don't have common sense, so I guess that's an opinion issue too. All right. The hurricane in Hawaii. They're calling it a tropical storm. Last time I heard hurricane, but tropical storm Lala in Hawaii. I heard there was a lot of devastation there. Now, see, all right. See, now I'm seeing something different. So I guess it depends on tropical storm Lala. Okay. But it says 1 hour ago from Fox Weather, Pacific tropical activity surges as Category 3 Hurricane Lala. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me click on this for a second. Okay, this is actually on YouTube. It's a 5-minute video. but we got time. So I'm actually going to play it. I'm going to play the video for you all. And this is about the hurricane or tropical storm, because I'm getting two different things. All right, let's see. Alrighty. Try to get a good camera angle for you. I'm trying to set up two cameras. See, if I go one like that, then the other one's got to be sideways. So I'm going to try to even them both out if I can, as best as I can. Trying to get two phones in the shot. All right, it's as best as I'm probably going to get it. Let me make sure the volume is up. Okay. All right.
A remarkable story of strengthening, with Lala becoming a Category 4 hurricane overnight. It rapidly intensified from an 80-mile-an-hour hurricane at 8 a.m. yesterday to 125-mile-an-hour hurricane as of 8 a.m. today. But it was at the 5 o'clock Eastern Time advisories that we saw that reach 130 miles an hour. At 4. It is well west of the main Hawaiian Islands now, but it is impacting the northwestern Hawaiian Islands. These aren't the most well-known islands. We'll show you. Here's the current stats with that northwest movement, 9 miles an hour. These are the islands that we know more so for as Hawaii, but also part of Hawaii are these mainly uninhabited. Some people live there. A lot of research goes in, a lot of marine and ecosystems here too. It's a big stretch. I mean, Midway Island might be one of the islands that you've heard of before. These islands don't have permanent residents living on them, but researchers and staff do visit on a temporary basis, and they are under alerts, hurricane warnings as well as tropical storm warnings. Some of the northwestern Hawaiian islands, they're atolls, essentially a circle of islands that surround a central body of water, like a lagoon. But if the northwestern Hawaiian Islands were laid on top of the continental United States, they stretch more than 1,200 miles. That would be the same distance between New York City and Omaha, Nebraska, or Boston to the Florida Everglades. I mean, these things are expansive. And those still, as I had mentioned, a part of Hawaiian Islands. So the northwestern Hawaiian Islands, they're being affected by a powerful hurricane, the strongest that it has been. I mean, a Category 3 right now with the latest advisory. It was knocked down just a bit, beginning a weakening trend, most likely going to see that trend continue as it heads into higher latitudes, cooler water. But what a feat. Wild to see just to the west of Hawaii, a Category 3. And then we've got these. Both areas, an 8% chance of developing, both areas in the eastern Pacific, but one is going to be heading in the direction of Hawaii. So the European model is what we're showing you here. Some of the bulletins, things that have changed since last night. 90E is quickly organizing near the central Pacific. Confidence is increasing that we could see some of those impacts, and the heavy rain, rough surf will be possible as early as Sunday. Could start those effects on the Hawaiian Islands and the Big Island on Sunday. Wild that just after Lala, now we have another one that we could be talking about. The next 48 hours, a high chance that we could see a tropical depression formed. Maybe we could get one before Thursday evening, within 24 hours or so. Indications are there. Hurricane hunters, there's already talk of a mission on Friday. It's up in the air. Obviously, we need a more established system, but that's been something discussed already. And with the tropical threat probability, it's an exclusive product that we show here, indicating a high chance. We pay attention to it. Note where the Hawaiian Islands are, where the development could occur. And when we look at those ensemble members, these are global forecast models, but they are used as a gauge of confidence. Our confidence goes up when we see more L's. and all forecasts are hinting at something developing. The only one that really isn't enthused about it is the GFS. When you look at the ensemble members, not as many, but the GFS is at a really hard time with hurricane forecasting this season and last season. The others, though, are highlighting it, notably the Google AI model. We'll watch. Moisture, tropical moisture, don't think that this is in question, will be moving in. But when we look at the big island of Hawaii, Hilo, Hawaii, it's one of the wettest cities in America. So it does deal with daily rain chances, but getting that influx of more moisture, especially when we are a week removed from Hurricane Lala lashing the islands, this is not what we really want to see. But the amount of rain that we're expecting could be another big rainmaker for the big island of Hawaii. And then farther to the north, we could on the windward side certainly see more impacts. Briefly, we've got this other area that we're watching, not designated an invest yet, but there is a chance we could see this thing develop too. There are questions. What will this possibly do after it forms? Could it move more so in the direction of the U.S.? Doesn't look like the mainland will be affected, but this thing could actually take a jog west, believe it or not, and head toward Hawaii. We'll see how things play out, but we're getting way ahead of ourselves. Let's see if this develops. If it does develop, the next name would be Acel. But as we know, with moisture that does move in from the subtropics and the tropics, some of that could get slung into California. Maybe a unique setup here as we head into next week. This is more than a week away. Next Thursday, actually, the timestamp.
Alrighty, that was about the hurricane Lala that hit Hawaii. You know, count your blessings. You know what I mean? Because when you see stuff like that, you know, like us and everything, you know, we have a car, but it ain't nothing fancy. We got a roof over our head. It ain't nothing fancy. You know, we got a little money, but not a lot. You know, we got food, but, you know, it's not filet mignon or nothing. But who cares? Who cares? There's people out there right now that had their homes destroyed by hurricanes and tropical storms and earthquakes and tornadoes and hurricanes and floods and you name it. People have lost their lives because of it. So count your blessings, everybody, because, and if anybody out there has lost their home or a loved one or anything, you know, because of stuff like this, my heart goes out to you. My heart does go out to you. Just pray. Pray to God. There's power in prayer. He will help you along the way. And things will get better. But that goes back to one of the things I always say at the end of my lives. Do your best and God will do the rest. In other words, you can't really expect things to get better if you don't do your best. You know, if you don't do your best, God won't do the rest. You know, like I've said before, we are live and I don't edit. So if I make a mistake, you're going to see it. I don't sugarcoat nothing. I say it the way it is. Some people like it. Some people don't. That's okay. You can't please everybody. It's impossible. I've tried. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It doesn't. You know, you're going to let somebody down. You know, what you got to look out for is, you know, like I was telling Tanya and everything, you know, there's people that want us to move back to Connecticut. And there's people that, you know, want to stay in Florida. So if we stay in Florida, we make certain people happy. But in Connecticut, they won't be happy. And if we move to Connecticut, we'll make certain people in Connecticut happy, but we're not going to make people in Florida happy or whatever around the area. But that's okay, because you want to know what you do, how you solve that situation. You do what makes you and your family, like me, Tanya, and everything, we do what makes us happy. Not what makes this one happy or that one happy or whatever, because you're not going to please everybody. So make sure you're happy. And as long as you're happy, That's all you need. And somebody that truly loves and cares about you would be happy for you. But if you make a decision that makes you happy and somebody's not happy for you, they're thinking of themselves and not you. So we're about at the 35-minute mark. So I guess that's pretty much all for today. And tomorrow is Talk Point Thursday. And Jillian Rose Bethillier on Facebook, she's also on YouTube and TikTok as well. She does Talk Point Tuesdays. And for the last 6 months now, I think we've been doing the same topic every week. The difference is she does it in her way, like a female perspective. I do it in my way, like a male perspective. So I usually say part 1 for her, part 2 for me, And if you watch hers, don't be like, well, I don't need to watch his. It's the same topic. It's the same topic, but how I talk about it, explain it, and all that other stuff is totally different, and vice versa. So you're going to want to catch both. You're going to want to catch both. So that's tomorrow, Talk Point Thursday. And then Sunday is Surrender All Sunday. Oh, and by the way, Talk Point Thursday, yes, we have a topic, but it's also about everyday life and putting God first. Surrender All Sunday is prayer and devotion. And World News Wednesday is just that, world news. But I always incorporate Jesus into it because, like I said before, Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, God created the heavens and the earth. So if it wasn't for him, there'd be no earth, there'd be no world, there'd be no world news. Period. I'm just saying it like it is. I'm the messenger, people. I am the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. And a lot of times that happens, But anyways, I'm going to say closing prayer, and then I'm going to let you all go. Dear Lord God, I thank you for this day. I thank you for this time. I thank you for everybody on Facebook Live and YouTube Live, Lord. Just be with everybody, Lord, I pray. Be with everybody that, needs to get closer to you, Let something happen to where somebody or someone or whatever comes into their lives to be able to show them that, yes, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. We love you, we praise you, and we thank you, and we give you all the glory. In your precious holy name, amen. Alrighty. So again, Facebook, if you could, like, tag, and share. Hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. And YouTube, please subscribe. It is free. And same thing, hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. And also, I've said this before, if you ever have any prayer requests, it just isn't for Surrender All Sunday. You can leave them here on World News Wednesday, Talk Point Thursday, whether we're live or the replay, because I do go back and watch the replays during the week. And if I don't respond to you, it doesn't mean that I'm ignoring you. It just means that I got sidetracked, I got busy, life, it happens. So don't take it personal. But if you need to contact, say, myself or my wife, when we're not on and you really need to talk to us, send us a message on Facebook. And if we don't respond right away, we'll get back to you, when we're able to. So, all righty. Well, you all take care. Love you all. God bless. Have a great day. Remember, never give up. Just keep swimming. Keep the faith. And like I said, do your best and God will do the rest. You don't do your best, God won't do the rest. And when a door gets closed in front of you, like, oh, I wanted that job or I wanted that apartment or whatever the case may be, it's because the door ahead is far much better than the door that you would have walked through. So he closed that so you'd be able to walk into the better door, even though it might be a week, a month, a year, or whatever down the road. God doesn't settle for second best. He wants number one. Put him number one. And Hakuna Matata, which means no worries for the rest of your days. All right. Well, I'm going to let you all go. I'll see you tomorrow for Talk Point Thursday. And remember, Jillian Rose Bethelier, don't forget to watch Talk Point Tuesday. And I'll see you Sunday for Surrender All Sunday, prayer and devotion. And we're also into our Daily Bread Ministries book, Prayer Changes Things. So we're going to be on day 2 this coming Sunday on that. And then when we're done with that book, there's 10 days in all. So 10 Sundays total. When we're done with that book, I got other books. You can go on their website. You can get books. The books are free. The shipping is free. If you want to donate, you can, but you're not obligated to. I got a whole bunch of books from them, shipped to me and everything. Didn't cost me 1 cent. So there's no obligation or catch or anything like that. And I will see you all next week for another edition of World News Wednesday. Have a great day, everyone. Love you all. God bless.